We're going to be doing a deep dive into Photoshop AI. We're going to see how to use AI in animation. We're going to be removing unwanted objects from images. We're going to be replacing backgrounds, and I'm going to show you the difference between generative fill and generating an image. So we're going to start off with generating a fill for a background. I could see myself using this a lot, especially if I like the subject, but not so much the background. So we're going to start off by selecting the subject, and then we're going to generate fill. But before we do that, we want to select the background. That's the part we want to change. Now, hit Generative Fill, put in your prompt, hit Generate. Now you'll see some different options for you. And this is pretty amazing because it has generated a fill of an image where the car fits perfectly in three-dimensional space. And for instance, on a wet pavement, it's got a reflection of the car on the water. The same thing here, there's a reflection on this glassy floor. Let's say we wanted to change it again. So now we have a beach background, and we still also have our previous request. In this menu, you can also generate similar, and that's another option. There's also an option to modify the mask slightly. So you might feather it a little bit more and get a different result. So one of the other cool things that AI in Photoshop does is it gives you the ability to replace or remove an object. Let's say an unwanted object in your image, like this surfboard. So what you're going to do is go to the Remove tool, and then you're going to make sure your brush size is appropriate for the size of the object. The important thing is to grab all of the object and not grab any of your original image that you don't want replaced. And sometimes it takes more than one go. This is a powerful tool, and I could see myself using it a lot. So in this example, we have a ball image that I created using Adobe's Project Neo, a 3D program that's really easy to use. Check out the link here. So I have separated out the shadow from the ball itself. And we're going to animate both the ball and the shadow, and we're going to come up with a generative background. So I'm going to hit Generate Image. What I want is a green grassy hill with the sun shining, and I'm going to choose photo. You can also choose art. There are other effects in here that you can choose, like 3D, which I'm going to choose. So what I've gone ahead and done is created an animation where this ball comes in and bounces. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to change the background right at the point where the ball hits the bottom of the grass. So to do this, I'm going to create another generative image. Now we have our animation where the background changes when the ball hits the ground. One thing I wanted to point out is that Generate Fill and Generate Image have different options for each. So Generate Fill, I was able to generate a background image behind my image, and it actually came up with some interesting things with my hair. It added and refined the edges of my hair, and depending on what I chose, it would either have more hair or less hair. Now, if you generate a fill, you just have the prompt and the generate button. If you generate an image, you have this other button here which allows you to change the content type, the effects, and what overall style you're looking for. Let's say you find one variation that you like, but you want similar ones. You can generate similar, and that will provide you with more options based on that particular style. So you can see here how it modified my hair quite a bit on some of these images, and others it didn't. The other thing you can do is you can modify your mask. So if I select my mask, you can use these to kind of dial in exactly how you want your mask. I had a lot of fun playing with these generative fills. I hope you do too.